What's going on, friends? It's your boy Danny Brasco Betts, your host here at Pick Profit and Free Pick Guru, getting you a free play today in the Detroit Pistons versus New York Knicks matchup. This one at 7 p.m. on this Thursday, March 4th, being played in Madison Square Garden, where they're letting fans back in the stadium now. You might catch Brasco, your boy here, at a game soon enough. Me and Spike Lee courtside. You know how we do. We're close like that. Taking a look at how these two teams match up against each other. Pistons 10-25 straight up, 17-15-3 against the spread. Awful straight-up record. They're one of the bottom teams in the NBA, but above 500 cover rate. Interesting stuff there. Typically playing with a lot of points, right? Big underdogs. New York Knicks, 18-18 straight up. The Knicks are 500. That'll leave them at fourth in the Eastern Conference. Can you believe that? 20-16 against the spread. Good cover rate as well for the Knicks. So how are these teams coming into this one? Well, looking at the injury report first, a lot of people banged up, and this is always a cautious spot when you head into the All-Star break. This is the day before we head into the break, so you want to see what our team's going to do. They're most likely going to rest their guys that are banged up. No need to risk it. But depending on the situation you're in, you might want to push for a win here headed into the break. Get some momentum. Grab a victory before your guys take some days off. So looking at the Pistons, well, they just played last night. This will be the second leg of a back-to-back for them, and they sat Jeremy Grant last night, their best player, and you would think, oh, they sat him, well, probably offense didn't do very well. They scored 129 against the Raptors. Raptors were sitting most of their guys, too, to be fair, but 129 against anyone on any night in any circumstance is impressive, especially for the Pistons, who are not a strong offensive team. So Pistons able to find their way with their bench guys behind, a lot of really good play from the young guns there. So nice job from the Pistons. Jeremy Grant still listed as questionable here. He's had a quad injury. I wonder if they play him on the second end of a back-to-back here after resting him in the first one. We'll see. All-Star break approaching. I'm going to predict that they don't, but as I always say, I'm not a doctor. Keep your eyes posted on that injury report. That could move the line. Dylan Wright still hasn't been playing for them. Backup point guard Frank Jackson, illness questionable. See if he goes. Killian Hayes still out. Blake Griffin hasn't been playing. Possible trade talk. So we'll see who plays in this one for the Pistons. Apparently it didn't matter against the Raptors, and their offense was clicking nonetheless. So looking at the Knicks injury report now, Derrick Rose been upgraded to probable. He had been quarantining. He's ready to go in this one, and the Pistons just traded him earlier this season, right? The Knicks picked him up off that Detroit team, and I don't think there's any sort of revenge aspect there. I mean, I can't speak to his time in Detroit, but I don't think there's necessarily bad blood, like he's coming to do it to the Pistons tonight. However, maybe he shows his old team, hey, thanks for trading me. Now it's time for me to drop buckets on your head. So look for a game from D. Rose nonetheless. Knicks will still be without Taj Gibson. He's been downgraded to doubtful. Ankle issue. Elfrid Payton hasn't been playing. He won't play in this one. Hamstring injury. And they're still missing Mitchell Robinson. So Knicks a little bit banged up too, but most of their guys still going. And if we're looking at their last couple games and how they've been shaping out, well, they lost to the Spurs in their last one. Spurs had their way with the Knicks. But prior to that, we're on a nice little 3-game win streak. They beat the Kings, the Pacers, and these Detroit Pistons just a week ago. 109-90. They had their way with them in that game. If we look at how that game shaped out, Knicks were winning at halftime, 48-37. Just locked them up 11 at half, and gave up just 37 first half points. So that's what the Knicks do. They play defense. In fact, they're the number one defensive team in the NBA. I love when I say that about my New York Knickerbockers. Tom Thibodeau's got them locking down. Number one in total scoring against, number one in field goal percentage against, number one at defending the three ball. They don't foul too much. They play pretty responsibly, and they're in the middle of the pack in terms of rebounding numbers. They're actually number 3 in offensive rebounding. So crashing the offensive glass, great. Defensive rebounding, about the middle of the pack. I mean, rebounding and defense, we're doing the fundamentals. That's why the Knicks are winning games right now and sitting at 500. Meanwhile, if you look at the Pistons offense, well, despite them putting up 129 against the Raptors last night with less, with not even a full staff of guys going, they're 23rd in total scoring now, 27th in field goal percentage, 23rd in three-point percentage, bottom 10 in free throws and offensive rebounding. Defensive rebounding also bottom 10. Obviously, they don't defend well. We know that about the Pistons. They're 27th in field goal percentage against, so you can typically get pretty efficient shooting nights against them. I mean, there's not too many things we can say that they do great. If anything, they're just scrappy. There can be a scrappy team here. But the way I'm looking at this thing more than anything is like, who's motivated for the win here? And of course, both teams are going to want to pick up a win. But as I mentioned earlier, you got to look at spots where teams are either going to lay down and rest and call it, all right, we're headed into the All-Star break. Let's rest our best guys, and let's make sure we come out of this thing ready to rock, lock, stock, and barrel, ready to go. But the Knicks are riding this momentum that they haven't had in so many seasons, and they're coming into this game at 500. They have a chance to go go into the All-Star break above 500, and now they get a weak Pistons team who's coming in the second leg of a back-to-back, one who they just beat by 19 a week ago. The Knicks are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games, 7-3 straight up in their last 10. They play to the under all the time, and if they're going to make it a low-scoring contest like they do behind their defense, I like the Knicks in that style of game. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games at home, playing great in the Garden, and I think with the fans and the city behind them, fans back in the stadium now, they're just going to look to rally the Knicks for this, momentum win headed into the All-Star break, and momentum is on their side. There's a little more to play for here. Pistons may rest Jeremy Grant again, and we'll see. I don't think they're putting up 129 against the New York Knickerbockers' #1 defense in the NBA. All that being said, I'm going to rock the Knicks -7 tonight, and that's going to be the free pick of the day. Normally, you're laying 7 points on the Knicks. I mean, that's unheard of. But in this spot, I like them to win by double digits once more behind some great defense and some motivated play to show the fans that we are here this season. You guys know I had a curse, a Knicks curse for a while. The curse has been broken. I've been hitting on Knicks bets. Don't worry, the Brasco Knicks curse is over. Let's go Knicks -7 for the free pick of the day. And good luck to anyone tailing this bet. Let's go get this bread. Go Knicks. Booyah.